What? Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Box, a Formula One podcast. I'm Shannon Hayes.
I'm Sam Cockcroft.
And I'm Merel Huseman.
Today is the much anticipated Kimi episode, all about Kimi Raikkonen, the man, the myth, the legend, the Iceman.
The Iceman. It actually says that on his Wikipedia page. Also known as the Iceman. It's official.
Yeah, I know. That's like his actual label.
He's truly a mystical being.
Yeah.
A man of few words and much talent.
Yeah.
But before we get into him, we're going to cover some news this week. Starting off with the new liveries that dropped for McLaren and AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
What were your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, first we can start with McLaren. The launch was good. I liked their little video. I watched it late, but I really enjoyed it. Especially Daniel Ricciardo's nephew saying a hi to him from Australia was so cute.
I thought it was so funny that they made like the little theme song, and then Lando later went and bought the whole drum set.
I didn't see that. I can't believe he bought a drum set. Wow.
He showed it off in his Insta story, but the whole thing was so funny, and Ricardo was just being so cringy the whole time. I don't know if you guys saw, but he was just standing in the background, like, bopping his head and, like, thumping his foot.
Oh my god, he's got the dad barbecue dance moves.
They're rapping, too. The guys in, like, the booth were like, wow, that's great, guys, and I was like... I think we heard different things.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe take a second take on that, you know? just try it again, guys.
Yeah. But I mean, the car itself, to me, it looked exactly like the MCL 35.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I have looked at it a little bit more, and there are differences that are more noticeable when you look closer. Not in terms of, like, the color and, like, the style, but, like, the shape of the car.
Yeah.
It's much more, like, slim down, and I think it looks fast.
I mean, and they also have the Mercedes power unit now instead of the Renault power unit, so that'll probably make a difference.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this car on the track.
Yeah, me too. Well, they already tested it, and they said it felt good, so we'll see.
Yes, and then we also had the AlphaTauri drop, which was
yes.
Both Yuki and Gasly were wearing these coats that were too big for them, both of them.
Yeah.
It was like Fashion Week rejects hour. They're both just standing with their fucking arms out.
No, it literally looked like Yuki was Gasly's son.
Here's my question, though. Is both of them, they look like their legs are the same size? So
Gasly has a longer torso.
His proportions just look really awkward. Like, Yuki's short, but, like, he's at least proportionate, whereas Gasly's got these tiny-ass legs.
Or maybe Yuki, he just has the proportions of the Adam Driver meme of Kylo Ren, where he's got the huge legs up to here.
Yeah.
And then no torso.
I don't know, they both just looked awkward.
Yeah. I'm so excited for Yuki to drive. I was, when they did the reveal or the YouTube video, whatever, I just got so hyped to see him race. I don't know why. I think he's gonna be great, and the car itself looked amazing. So, I don't know. I think he's gonna be a real up-and-comer this year.
Yeah, I saw this tweet. I can't remember. It was like, in 2021, like, Yuki will, and it was like, fill in the blank. And Stoffel Van Dorn commented, eat sushi, and everybody was like, oh my god, you're so racist. How dare you say something like that? And he was literally just referencing this interview where Yuki was like, after a good race, after I've done well, I like to eat sushi.
Oh.
So he just said it so that because he was like, oh yeah, Yuki's gonna do really well. He's gonna eat lots of sushi after he does well in these races. But everybody was like, damn, you racist. It was supposed to be a heartwarming moment.
I also saw that Yuki replied to that, and Yuki wrote "grow," and everyone was like, "Wow, mega self-burn," because like he's so tiny.
I read that and I was like, I wonder if he intended it to be a self-burn or if he
Yeah,
thought
me
like
too.
I'm gonna grow as a driver, as an athlete. Physically grow.
Oh, it's so funny.
How did we feel about the actual livery for AlphaTauri?
I thought it looked sick. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. The like matte blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I thought
It's
it
good,
was
it's
like
good.
a little underwhelming. It was a little basic looking. But like I think AlphaTauri always looks a little basic, so you know, nothing too out of the norm for them, I guess.
I'm never gonna be like a huge fan of their livery until they go back to Toro Rosso, if that ever happens.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I'm not a huge fan of AlphaTauri as like the name of the team.
Yeah.
So, but that's a different thing.
Matt from WTF1 didn't like the new livery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said he liked the 2021 better. Controversial opinion.
I don't know. I definitely like this year's better.
I'm on it. I can see someone thinking that, you know, I can see that being someone's opinion. I think they're both equal, you know, they're both kind of, not good, not bad, just,
Yeah. I don't think there's any major upgrades in this car. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be performance-wise probably similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see this thing that they turned down a bunch of parts from Red Bull and they were doing a lot more, like, in-house on their own.
Oh,
interesting.
Which I'm not really sure what that means,
Yeah,
but it could be
interesting.
Are they staging a coup?
Yeah, I guess so.
Trying to mutiny? and become their own thing? Well, I look forward to seeing that battle. That
Yeah.
would be fun.
A battle they're gonna lose.
Well, probably.
We'll give them a chance.
But imagine. And speaking of Maddie from WTF1, he recently had some scandal that you told us about, Merel. What was that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. He posted on his Instagram a challenge, and it was hosted by a nicotine company that I think sponsors, I don't know if they sponsor a team or just esports in general, but they're called Velo. And he posted this challenge where you have to be a nicotine consumer to enter. And then in the comments, like, everyone went wild and was like, how this is like, I mean, I agree. I don't think you should be condoning nicotine use, especially not on a platform where most of his followers are definitely also young. But what happened in the comments is a lot of people were saying that because Matty has been so vocal about the whole Mazepin situation, they were like, why are you posting about this, but you're criticizing Haas and stuff like that, which I don't agree with. That's not a comparison that you should be making, because that's so different.
Yeah.
Like, it's valid to criticize someone for condoning nicotine use. It's not valid to then be like equating that to someone who's sexually harassing.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I know that like F1 banned their nicotine sponsors a couple years ago or whatever. That was a whole meme for Ferrari, but I don't think this is that bad, because it does say in the post like 18 plus. You have to be an existing nicotine user, so he's not, you know, it's like in the rules of like, you know, don't start smoking to enter this thing. Like, you know, ideally we're not getting new smokers out there.
Yeah.
And like in the grand scheme
Yeah.
of things today, like, I mean, smoking is bad, but I feel like there's worse things, so I'm just kind of like, you know, whatever. Like,
No, I agree. I totally agree, but I just think it's weird to be promoting something like that or having a challenge in itself that is only for people that are nicotine users. I feel like that's just strange.
I mean, I like It is the company. I was just looking now. The post is actually also on WTF1's account, and comments are still enabled.
Oh.
So people are pissed.
Yeah. Give up. What are they saying?
I think some people are like upset because they can't enter because they don't use nicotine, which is fair.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, you want to enter, but one of the comments was they responded and said, "We know it's disappointing that you cannot enter, but our partners at Velo take their responsibility on how they market their products very seriously. That's why there are restrictions on this competition/content." Like, I think it's just that they're not trying to get new people to start using their products. They're trying to target people who already use it, but it just comes across a little iffy.
Well, first of all, I mean, the nicotine company themselves are definitely trying to get new users to use it. But in terms of marketing, they're not allowed to do that. So, but like, I mean, I get it. I feel like it's a weird sponsorship to take on. Like, it's a cool contest, but it's a weird partnership for them. Like,
I think Velo is also working with McLaren on some stuff, and they also have their own E-Series.
Oh.
Where they're doing like training. They're like training drivers and then having them compete against each other. Like they're training influencers to drive like iRacing or whatever, and then they're having them compete against each other, and that's like the Velo E-Series. And it's with Velo and McLaren. So, I mean, like, they're definitely tied to the motorsport world.
Yeah. I just feel like it's a weird one because, like, I feel like WTF1, their fans are quite young, so it would almost just be...
That's what I'm saying.
Moot to advertise with WTF1, because it's strange.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, because also, I mean... I looked at it and was like, sick, and then I scrolled through and I was like, well, I can't even, not that I even have like a sim or anything, but I was like, oh, this could be cool, and then you read the like little thing, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I also found the comment that I saw about them like being like, why is Matt doing this? Because it says, this again exposes you, Matt. On one hand, you accuse F1 drivers of their behavior and bash them in your podcast. But then when it comes to yourself, you act like a good guy. And then there's a bunch more like that where they're just like, how you can't bash someone else and then promote nicotine use.
What? Those two are not the same. Like, come on, dude.
Like, on a scale of like, I don't know, whatever. But like at the very bottom is like, promoting nicotine use. Like, not a huge deal.
Yeah, it's like literally being like, oh, you drank underage? You're the same thing as the Zodiac killer. You literally murdered like several people just because you promoted drinking. Like, come on, dog. It's not the same thing. That's so stupid.
It's just weird.
Yeah, he disabled his comments, but now looking through these, I saw someone who commented, nicotine users only. WTF, is this some sort of joke? Surely this isn't serious because it would undermine everything Matt has rightly been fighting for. Has Matt been fighting against nicotine usage in the past? Like, I don't think so. Has he been very anti-nicotine?
This one says, imagine criticizing Mazepin and promoting smoking at the same time. LOL. That's really a bad move, guys. So sorry.
Why are they equating these two?
Right, because the worst thing about Mazepin was the fact that he smokes. We all know that.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst part.
I can't think of any other thing to criticize Mazepin for off the top of my head. Nothing stands out other than the nicotine usage.
Anyway, if you want to have a good laugh, go to the comments of the WTF1.
You know, these people might not be smoking nicotine, but they must be smoking something if they think that those are equivalent at all. Holy shit.
This one's harsh though, I feel like. It says, wait, so I've got to be an unhealthy person, i.e. a smoker, to enter a giveaway for something I might actually have a chance at winning or coming close for an awesome prize.
Yeah.
That's really lame, man. I'm like,
I saw that. I just found another one that is actually insane. And it says, changing the words doesn't make it better. You have literally sunk below the level of Mazepin now. That guy apologized at least.
What?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Bro,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on, dude.
Yeah.
This one says, you went so hard against Haas F1, yet you turned out just like them.
Are they like
Why are these people equating sexual harassment to...
I am begging these people to speak to any woman once, just one time. Speak to a woman. Go outside, feel the grass, call your mother, something.
These are all men just sitting inside because of quarantine.
I'm sorry. This says, so you're encouraging smoking? Fucking clowns. Hashtag we say no to WTF1.
No!
What?
Here's the thing, is like, I think it is, like, again, I think it's kind of weird for them to promote this, and I also think it's, like, it is kind of shitty, I guess, because, like, most of their followers probably can't partake in it, and it seems like a sick giveaway, but the prerequisite is that you smoke, so it's like, God, like, come on, like, you know, but at the same time, what are these people talking about?
I also think, okay, well, first, I just want to read another thing. Speaking of the Zodiac Killer, somebody commented, next episode will be serial killers only. Like, that escalated real fast.
That escalated so quickly.
I don't know. But what I think is just really weird is that it is all the comments are, not all of them, a lot of the comments are about smoking.
Yeah.
But that's not the criteria. It's nicotine use. Like, Velo doesn't actually sell any, like, they're like, they don't sell cigarettes. It's, like, nicotine use, which, like
vapes and stuff.
If you want to justify, I don't even think it's vapes. It's, like, chewable.
Okay.
And, like, gum and stuff. So, in my opinion, it's the type of products that a person would use if they were trying to quit smoking, though I'm sure Velo doesn't actually give a shit about that. Mm. But, like, that's why it just feels a little bit weird that they're getting so pissed off about this, because, like, that's not really what it is.
I just saw 2 comments also. One was, does weed count as well?
It's pretty good.
And then the next one, which I think you, Sam, were talking about, is first stealing smaller pages memes and now promoting usage of tobacco. So were they stealing memes from other pages?
That's what I read on Twitter. It was like a couple tweets that I saw about it that basically they don't give credit to people that create content that they end up putting on their page.
Interesting.
I didn't really read that much about it. I wasn't really paying that much attention, but it was an accusation that went out there and has now since been repeated, I guess, in this.
Damn.
But
I mean, I can see that. A lot of content, like, aggregators out there do that, so it wouldn't surprise me. I know it was a big thing with, like, a lot of different Instagram meme pages, like Fuck Jerry specifically, constantly steals memes. All of the meme pages do that, so it's not surprising, you know.
I also think that, like, with Formula One, there are certain things, like, it's a pretty small community that, like, there are some things that, like, people can create the exact same meme at the same time. Like, we've done it.
Yeah, I mean, the meme that I posted, like, you literally said, like, 20 minutes later, someone else had posted the exact same meme. Like, it just happens because there's such a small pool of, like, stuff to create. It's, like, so niche.
Yeah. You always gather around these, like, funny moments that happen, you know, and they're usually big sparks in the community that get memed to all hell. So naturally you're gonna have, like, 5 iterations of the same meme about the one funny moment that, like, is also surrounded by, like, 20 different other meme formats that all have their own copies of them, you know?
Exactly.
Like...
Yeah. Well, another update that I saw is, I mean, not really F1 related, but the F2 and F3 series are changing their format, and F2 is gonna, on their Saturday sprint races, they're gonna have 2 45-minute sprint races, and then on the Sunday they're gonna have their feature race, which is 170k. And I think F3 is gonna do the same, but just smaller, like, shorter times. So that'll be interesting, because that's going to be really tough on the drivers doing 2...
Yeah, 45 minutes is a long sprint race.
I mean, it's 120k. And then 2 of them on Saturday. And then, this will also be interesting. So the grid for the opening sprint is the top 10 of Friday's qualifying, but inverted. So fastest at the back, slowest at front.
Oh.
So, like, people are going to try to, like, place, like, 10th and 9th. Like, it's all strategy now.
Yeah. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Because, like, why would you want to do well then?
Yeah, well, because then, like, that sprint race, I think you qualify for the next sprint race, and yeah.
That's true.
It's weird, isn't it?
I guess they were talking about doing reverse grids for the 2022 F1 season, so I guess this is their way of...
This might be their way to test.
I think they said no already, but yeah, that's the way. It's a way to test.
I wonder why, like, why the reverse grid would be beneficial at all. And, like, why does the FIA, like, sometimes just introduce these new rules and regulations just kind of at random? Like, they just are like, let's switch up the sport. Let's keep it fresh.
I think, well, so with the reverse, even before they reverse the grid, whoever came first gets 4 extra points. So, like, you do get extra points for coming in first, and then even though you're starting at the back. So if you have a good car, it would be good to, like, get those points, and then even though you're starting in the back of the grid, have the confidence that you'll still end up ahead and get even more points. But it's, like, complete strategy at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would just be fun, like, for F1 if Lewis is probably gonna win most of the races again this season. And it'd be nice in his fast Mercedes for him to just start at the back every once in a while, just so he's not driving with nobody ahead of him. He actually gets to, like, race against other people.
You know, I think the FIA needs to introduce a mechanic like the blue shell in Mario Kart. If Lewis is getting too far ahead, they hit the self-destruct switch, so he can't move
like
for
a little
3
spin.
seconds. He does a little spin out. And then he finishes the race from there, probably still in first.
Yeah. Zoe had an interview about this, like the reverse grid, and he said, my point of view is that it's going to be interesting for the people watching, but for us, it'll be very stressful. Which, because he's like, it's definitely, you definitely can't make any mistakes to try and finish top 10. But then also wanting to qualify near the 10. Like, he was just saying that it's going to be very stressful and very, strategy-based.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that's very interesting.
I think it'll also be interesting for, like, the openings of the races, because you're going to have the people at the back that are going to want to just immediately pass people, and it's going to get real chaotic, I think, for the opening lap. It's just going to be chaos every single time.
I also think, like, I guess if you're trying to, like, strategize so you can finish 10th and then end up first, it just seems, like, first of all, really complicated, because also just very easily backfire, and you end up in 11th or 12th.
So, right, yeah. So
which is worse.
I feel like people try and aim for pole and get those extra 4 points.
Yeah. Is it still called pole if you're starting 10th?
No! I don't know.
You come last and you're just like, I got pole.
You come in 10th and you're like, I got pole. Yeah, I'm sitting at pole.
Yeah, who gets the pole position award? Do they have those for F2?
I don't think they do, actually.
Oh, well. I want one of those little Pirelli tires.
They're cute.
One day.
Yeah. And, I mean, last news this week, they... Drive to Survive Season 3 dropped their, like, teaser trailer, and it made me shiver. I'm so excited.
We have a date, finally. We finally have a release date after all this waiting. It's going to be March 19th. Yeah. So hype. That's only a few days before the season starts, right?
Yeah. We'll all binge it, and then...
Like, the next month is gonna, like, fly by, I think, in terms of waiting for F1 to start again, because you have all the livery stuff in the next couple of weeks, and then testing, and then Season 3 of Drive to Survive, and then the season starts, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I saw a rumor, guys, and this is very exciting, that because BWT, the sponsor of
Racing Point.
Racing Point.
yeah, Racing Point. They're apparently this is a rumor going around that I saw. Might be sponsoring Williams, which means Williams might be the pink car.
Stop.
Because
oh
I think
my god.
they were also talking about another team.
Oh, really?
I can't remember which one. It was Williams and somewhere else.
Oh, because I only
It
saw the
may have
Williams
been Haas, and I'm...
Oh, I saw some stuff that they were like, we don't think Haas is actually in the works there. But either way,
Okay,
that would be so exciting because, I mean, BWT, their color is pink, so whoever they're sponsoring has to have a pink car.
Hell
So,
George Russell in pink?
yeah, hell yeah.
yeah. We can only hope.
Yeah, that's like the best rumor I've heard so far, and I don't know. I think we're gonna be let down, and I think it might not be true, but...
Well, they dropped the merch already, and that wasn't pink,
I know,
so.
it doesn't have BWT on
Yeah.
it either, but...
So I don't know about it.
If they're just on the car, though.
Yeah, they could be on the car.
You know, I'll pray to the F1 gods and the
Okay.
BWT gods that they give me another pink car. Or at least pink detailing, something nice.
Yeah, some,
Oh, yeah.
just some
a little
pink
bit pink.
thrown in there. See, pink and blue works perfect together. That
Yeah.
ideal livery.
It would be a
Like-
beautiful car.
Yeah, mostly because of George Russell, but
Yeah.
also yes.
Yeah.
All right, well, without further ado, why don't we get into some Kimi stuff? So
Yeah.
hype. We love Kimi. Yeah. Do we want to just briefly talk about, I guess, his F1
An
career?
intro. I mean, his name is Kimi Matthias Raikkonen, which I didn't know he had a middle name. I feel like they would have...
It's on his Instagram, isn't it?
No.
I'm pretty sure his Instagram name is Kimi Matthias Raikkonen.
Oh, jeez. Okay, well, I have not been paying attention to Kimi.
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, the legend, the Iceman, was born on 17th of October 1979, so our guy is 41, born in Espoo, which I had to look up the pronunciation, because, it's spelled Espoo.
Espoo.
Sounds like that can't be right. Espoo, Finland.
Finland's wild.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I mean,
When did he start in F1?
2001. He started in 2001 at Sauber, and now he's at Alfa Romeo, which used to be Sauber. So it's kind of cool. He
Yeah.
came full circle. But he's had 21 wins, 103 podiums, and obviously the one championship at his initial season at Ferrari in 2007. But yeah, I mean, he has practically been at every team in his 20 years in F1. And one thing that I do have to say, he fucking got kicked out of McLaren because guess who came to replace him?
Is it my boy?
Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, boy.
But then he went on, that was the year in 2007 when he went to race with Ferrari, and he obviously got the world championship that year, and raced with Ferrari until 2010 when he took his break. And I mean, Sam is going to go into that.
Well, yeah, I didn't know that he took a break. I thought that he'd just been in Formula One for forever and was just hanging out, doing whatever. But from 2010 to 2011, he left Formula One. Maybe like a, I don't know, Fernando Alonso type I'm retiring deal. I don't know. But he, in that time, did like rally car like racing and also NASCAR.
I would pay
NASCAR.
any amount of money to see him interact with other NASCAR drivers. Truly. That must be the most entertaining like footage you could get from his career, because the F1 footage is already entertaining, but everyone there is European and they can kind of understand the Finland vibe off of him. I would love to see just like some Mississippi driver of some NASCAR team trying to make sense of the Iceman.
Wait, also, I have to say this before we get into that, but the reason Kimi has, like, such a raspy voice, or, like, the reason he speaks like that is because when he was 5, he had a bike accident, and he hit his bike in his throat, and damaged his vocal cords. It wasn't repairable, so that's why he has, like, that voice.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. I thought he was just a man of few words.
No, well, that too.
Yeah, I think he also just is a man of few words.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well that explains his very iconic way of speaking.
Yeah. He also has diagnosed dyslexia. So, not that is... I don't know if that's also related.
It's just a fun fact.
Fun fact.
Do you think he struggles in spelling his own last name? Because I do. I can't imagine what that's like with dyslexia.
I would imagine he just struggles with spelling everybody else's last names. He looks at his own and he's like, that's normal. I get it. But anything besides Finnish, he's like, I don't know.
I saw this meme because everyone obviously calls him the Iceman, and there was this meme where he was playing with his kids, and the caption was like Ice Cube 1 and Ice Cube 2 playing with the Iceman.
I love that! His kids are ice cubes! That's so
He
good.
calls his son Ace Man, though. It says there's a post on his Instagram with for his son's birthday, and he says 6 years for Ace Man today.
Oh, that's also very cute. Oh, Kimi.
Yeah. Kimi.
Yeah.
Ice
So good.
cubes.
His little ice cubes. Oh my god. He's also just, aside from his stoic nature, incredible driver, gotta say. He's great at the overtakes. He makes them look effortless. He had the one, it was this season, 2020, at Portugal, where his, opening lap was wild. He went from, 16th to 6th.
Yep.
I think he won an FIA award for that, too, as, Action of the Year, because the fans just love that. I think the fans just love seeing Kimi succeed out here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I know.
Well, did he succeed at NASCAR, though? Was he any good at NASCAR?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm not sure. I don't really think so. I don't know if he did a lot. It was one season and he was doing that and he was doing rally. So I think it was just a little bit of each thing just to occupy his time.
Right. Well, I also found that in 2007, he made his debut in a snowmobile race.
Hell yes.
Under the name James Hunt, referring to the 1976 world champion who had the Playboy lifestyle, and he referred to himself as James Hunt.
Oh my God.
They won, his team won, and then the next year his friends and him entered a powerboat race, which they also, I think, won, but they won best dressed crew because he was in a gorilla suit.
Oh my god.
Of course.
But, just anything that's super random that he could pull off with a straight face, that's the Kimi vibe.
Yeah, he was just sitting there, straight faced,
Didn't say a word about it, didn't address it. Yeah. I mean, ice driving is, his whole thing. He's talked about his passion for driving on ice for some reason. And, he did that one interview with Natalie Pinkham or whatever from Sky F1. And, where he was supposed to be teaching her to drive or whatever. And the whole time she's like, you gotta teach me how to do this. You gotta teach me. And he was just like, just point the tires where you want it to go. Hit the throttle.
Kimi, can you just give me 3 tips about driving on ice?
Let's go.
What
You
is
cannot
this?
do anything wrong.
Which gear should I be in?
Whatever you want, I don't mind.
Oh, come on, Kimi!
Try to point the wheels where you want to go. Just put throttle. If it goes sideways, put the wheels on the way where you want to go and throttle. So it's
And then she She like crashes and he's like, oh, it's common with women to crash.
No! Oh my gosh.
I didn't get far.
I love how you just let me crash.
Happens often with women and cars, huh?
And I was watching that and I laughed because I was like, man, that's sexist, but something about the way he delivered it, it was just so funny. I don't think he's intentionally sexist. I think he's just an old man.
Yeah, he is.
I also kind of think he's just lazy.
Wait, sorry, what did you say?
No, I think he's just lazy. I think he just really didn't want to teach her and needed an excuse as to why she was bad that wasn't because he didn't teach her.
It's a really chaotic interview. The whole time she's like, Kimmy, like, what do I do? Like, you're supposed to be teaching me how to ice drive. And he's like, no, so what you do is you point the car in the direction, and he just keeps repeating that. And it's like, well, Kimmy, that's regular driving. But yeah,
the ice driving. I read a GQ. Well, there was a GQ article with him from like 2018 when he moved. Like Charles replaced him at Ferrari. And they were like, yeah, this Lone Ranger, like it was that kind of vibe. And they took him ice driving or snow, whatever, ice rally. I don't know what it was. It was in a go-kart in snow. And
cool.
When I started the article, I was like, oh, so this will be like one of those classic GQ articles where they have the person do something and then like have the interview, the classic like GQ sports articles. But no, it was like a 3-minute read with just photos of Kimmy in the car in the snow, and then the reporter or the editor or writing about like what Kimmy was doing in the car and just like about his like how Kimmy was such a like enigma.
you know he like was never going to actually partake in an interview for that.
No.
Like, nothing legit.
There was like no quotes, nothing. It was just him and his car.
I love that for him. That's his truest element. It's just in the car with silence.
Yeah.
He also like, I think one of his big career moments was also due to his expertise in ice driving, and it was early on. It was in 2003 at Interlagos, that one where it's like pouring rain and all of the cars get in an accident except for like literally just Kimmy is fine because he's just like, everyone else is slipping off the track and spinning out, and he's just like, what? This is nothing compared to my Finnish weather that I'm used to.
My ice driving.
Yeah. And then apparently they cut the race short due to bad conditions because there was literally debris from cars everywhere. So they stopped the race like 2 laps short, and they just declared whoever was in first in that lap like the winner. And so Kimmy won, and then later another team that doesn't exist anymore was like fighting them on it, and then he had to give up the W, and they swapped, so then he was second place. And just note, Fernando Alonso was in third. So he was also there, present, but not being problematic because we love him. But anyway, not about him, about Kimmy. Kimmy had to give up his first place to this other driver, and he did it with like a smile on his face. He was just like, yeah, I'm just happy to be here. Just love racing. Here's your first place.
I'd also just want to add that his rally car team in 2011 was called Ice One Racing.
Amazing.
It was his team. It was like he drove for it, and then after he like went back to F1, the team just ceased to exist. It was his whole thing. And then I think he also started a motocross team with the same name.
That's so funny.
Good for Kimmy. He's such a cool dude.
He really is.
I also want to talk about, I need to talk about drunk Kimmy. This is what I came here to discuss, was the 2018 FIA Awards. It's so good.
Yeah.
He's, the whole time, it was his last year at Ferrari before Charles came in and kicked him out.
Yeah. Charles.
But it's literally him and Seb broing out the whole night. And you can watch those clip compilations, and literally Kimmy's like, he's got his arm around Seb, and like Seb is like still sober, so it's just very funny, because like he's a friendly guy, he's not gonna tell Kimmy to stop, but like Kimmy is like out of it and like swaying. And there's like wide shots where like I think Lewis is giving a speech or something, but you can see like some rowdiness in the audience, and it's Kimmy like wildly gesturing while he talks. He's got like a cigar in his hand too. It's so funny. And then like they give out the awards, because like I think he got 3rd place that year and Seb got 2nd, and they both go up on stage together, and Kimmy's like swaying and he's doing a little stagger while he walks, and the commentators note, they're like, oh, Kimmy's having a good night tonight.
Please welcome our 3rd and 2nd place drivers, Kimi Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel.
Kimi has enjoyed tonight a lot, and also a standout season for Ferrari this year.
And then he like stops and he goes
God.
like, wah, and gestures towards Sebastian and gives him like this big like applause for getting 2nd, and Seb's just like, okay, I'm uncomfortable. I know, it's so funny.
Good.
Then after the fact, he like, I think he like falls on his ass in front of a bunch of reporters, but there's also an audio clip of him. It wasn't announced that he was going to Sauber yet, but like he was just like, I think someone asked him like, oh, are we gonna see you next year? And he's like, yeah, you'll see me at Sauber. And he like let it slip before the official announcement happened.
Oh no!
And then he's like going up to random people and
That's
hugging
so
them.
funny.
It's so funny. It's my favorite Kimmy moment of just seeing the personality that's inside this very stoic man.
I saw an interview that he did before his return in 2012 at Top Gear, and the interviewer, I forget his name, the guy from Top Gear, driver guy.
Jeremy?
Yeah, I think, yeah, Jeremy, yeah.
Yeah.
He asked him, like, oh, you've been known for, like, the drinking and the lifestyle. He's like, are you, like, getting back into shape now? Are you training for the start of the season and, like, giving up drinking? And Kimmy just goes, no.
Oh, his one-word answers are so good.
Yeah.
So
Also, I also saw a clip of him on his yacht, where he was so drunk and there was just like fans standing beside the boat, like filming him, and he's on top of the boat and he like lifts his glass and he fucking falls off the side of the boat.
Wait, he does?
Yeah, he falls on the side and then like gets trapped between the little railing of his boat and like the boat.
Oh, okay. He didn't like fully fall off the boat.
He didn't fall in the water.
Oh my
But then
gosh.
all the crowd is like, oh.
Oh my god.
How could I forget about my favorite Kimmy moment? I almost forgot. In the Monaco Grand Prix, I can't remember what year it was, he crashes in the middle of the race.
2006.
And instead of going back to the pits where he's supposed to go, after you crash, he immediately goes to his yacht and just starts drinking and hanging out.
You know what?
so
You
good.
went in Monaco. You might as well,
And Raikkonen's car too is on fire. So there is Kimi Raikkonen. He's not even gone back to the paddock. He's got his shirt off. He's on his boat, which has a splendid name, One More Toy. He's with some of his best mates from Finland.
Also, though, the thing is, like, oh, wait, this is funny, though, because he was challenging Fernando Alonso for pole, and then his car, like, went on fire, and he got he just, like, calmly parked his car on the side, like, did everything calmly, and then made, like, a 1 or 2 kilometer trek to his fucking yacht.
It's so good. It's so funny. The fact that he just walks there, he's like, I'm not going back to the pit. I am just going to go be on my yacht now.
I wonder if like he could do that now though, because that was 2006, and like I feel like everything was so much. The FIA had like not as many rules as now. I feel like, don't they do weigh-ins and everything?
Yeah, that's
now?
true. But like, also, are you gonna stop Kimi from getting to his yacht? I don't think
No.
so. I don't think you're gonna get between the man and his yacht.
Like, it's Kimi. You can't stop him from doing anything.
Yeah. They can't get him to do anything. They can't stop him from doing anything. There's my other favorite thing is like reporters desperately trying to get interviews with him before the races, like on the track. There's like two really good ones. There's one where like I think it's another Sky presenter is like following him and he's like, no, we don't have time. And he's like, no, you've got like 2 minutes. We can interview right now. And then Kimi just like gestures to like the press area and he's like, oh, okay, I'll follow you over here. And then he like goes up to him from behind the like press rope and he's like, so Kimi, like you didn't get a good qualifying time, but do you think you're gonna do better today? And Kimi just goes, yes, and walks away. It's so good. The one answers kill me.
Chat, Kimi. Yeah, well, you got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes. Yeah, it's 2 minutes left. Promise you. You can talk to me at the rope. I'm not. I'll come down that way then. All right, good. So bit of a challenge in qualifying, but should your car be better in the race?
Yeah.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, one of my favorite interview moments, or it's like after a press conference and an interview goes up to Kimi and is like, oh, you missed so-and-so's announcement, and the guy goes, are you gonna catch up on that, or what happened? And Kimi was like, oh yeah, I was taking a shit.
I love that one too.
Kimi, you missed the presentation by Pele.
Yeah.
Will you get over it?
Yeah, I was having a shit.
Oh god. There's also one where like someone comes up to him, I think before a race, and he's got his headphones in. And they're like, Kimi, do you have time for an interview? And he's like, oh, I can't hear you. And they're like, yes, you can. Like, can you talk to me right now? And he's like,
you
just
just
like keeps
answered.
gesturing to his headphones. Like, no, I can't talk right now. I've got music playing.
How are you today? I mean, you've got a wet towel. Oh, it's pretty cool. How do you feel today?
What?
How do you feel today?
I don't hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Come on, don't make jokes with me. Tell us a little bit about the race. What do you think?
I don't know, it's gonna be hot.
Come on! Jacques, was soll ich machen? Der ist so typisch auf ihn. Will kein Interview geben.
There's also like a press conference one where like I think one of the press people asks a long question about like the weight of the new Pirelli tires affecting like the car and like the speed or whatever, and like they're like, who wants to answer first? Kimi? And then he just goes, no. Pass. I don't answer this one.
We've heard an awful lot about the new tyre compounds that Pirelli have provided, but the new tyres also have different weights, which has affected the front-rear balance of the car. To what extent has that affected your handling on track, downforce, things like that, please?
Who wants to start with that one? Kimi?
No, I don't want.
Oh, so Sam, good. the one you sent of the hobby one where they're asking everyone.
Oh,
yeah. Well, you explain it.
Yeah, this was in Drive to Survive, and they're like asking everybody about like their experiences in F1, and everybody's like, it's so, you got to be really competitive, you want to like do really well, and he's like, oh, it's just really a hobby for me.
Under pressure. Diamonds are made under pressure.
I want to be in the fastest car.
Make sure that we are that dominant car.
Push Lewis Hamilton all the fucking way.
That's the hardest thing to do. It's not going to be easy.
No. It's more like a hobby for me, so obviously I don't need to do it if I don't want.
Like, that's why I think it's so funny, because there's certain drivers, like, if you were to say that, like, Lewis, after he's done at Mercedes, is gonna, like, go drive at Williams, everybody would be like, what? No way.
Yeah.
He couldn't do that. But, like, Kimi is just so chill. He really doesn't care about, like, winning. It's like, I just want to be in a car driving fast. Like,
yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, Alfa Romeo's not the fastest team, but it's faster than my street car, so I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Well, there's also that one quote of him where he's like, driving is the only thing that I love about F1. He's really just there to be in the car, and that's it.
I think that's why we
I
love
mean,
him.
that's fair.
He's so genuine. He's such an
Yeah.
honest, genuine
Yeah.
guy. A man of few words.
No bullshit, yeah.
No bullshit at all. There's also... I really love angry Kimi occasionally coming out in the car. There's one, I think it was 2019, Hamilton, like, blocks him. I think it was, like, the Hungary GP or something, but Hamilton blocks him, and he flips him off in the middle of the race, which is so funny, because, like, the amount of effort that must go into flipping someone off when you're going that fast in a car, and your hands are, like, basically glued to the steering wheel. He put a lot of effort into that.
I think it was also 2019 when he had that whole thing where his race engineer was going like giving him tips and stuff, and Kim was just kept saying like, "Leave me alone. Like I know what I'm doing. I know what's going on."
We're currently under threat from Michael behind. We need to get past Hulkenberg.
I know what I'm doing, so be quiet.
Okay, Kimi, next car behind you is Alonso. I'll keep you updated on the gap. I'll keep you updated on the pace.
Just leave me alone, I know what to do.
Good. He's like, I don't want to
Also, when he was pitting and they're like, stay out, and he's like,
Yeah,
oh, for fuck's sake, it's too late.
That one was frustrating to hear.
Yeah.
There's one really funny one where, like, I don't even know what year this was, but I just heard this radio recently, and it's so good. It's literally like, Kimi's like, because I guess they have, like, water in the car with them so they can, like, stay hydrated.
Yeah.
And he's just like, did you hook up the thing for the drink? And then his, like, engineer is like, he's like, oh, we forgot to attach it. I'm so sorry, Kimi. Like, you're not gonna have the drink. And they keep calling it the drink, too, which is so funny. And then he's like, no, is it a switch? Do I click it on? Did you click on the drink? And they're like, negative, Kimi, you're not going to have the drink. And they just go back and forth for so long about whether or not he's going to have the drink.
I hope that he still stays in 2022.
Yeah.
I think his contract with Alfa Romeo ends at the end of 2021, and I'm not sure how long it's going to continue, but
he needs to
fingers
stay.
crossed we get another season.
If as much as I love Fernando Alonso, if Alonso is here, Kimi should be here. That's my thoughts on that. Kimi stays for longer than Alonso should.
For sure. Alonso shouldn't be coming back.
Big disagree,
Kimi can do whatever
but
he
that's fine. There's also, I mean, sorry, I don't mean to keep coming in with my favorite Kimi moments, but there's so many good ones. And I'm gonna, as much as I simp for Charles, I am a big hoe for the Seb and Kimi duo at Ferrari. It's so good. Yeah. And the awkward handhold on the podium that he goes for when they're just chatting. One of my favorite moments.
Yeah. So cute.
Best bromance. Behind Carlando.
Sebastian, can you name something that you will miss about Kimi next year?
Silence. Short meetings from my side.
They really just seemed like such genuine friends the entire time. That's why they worked so well together.
I think it's just like I mean, like, yeah, obviously he wants to do well, but it's not like his, like, he doesn't have that same competitive nature as all the other drivers that I feel like he just gets along with all of them really well.
Yeah. I don't think anyone can dislike Kimi, because he's Kimi.
Well, because they know there's no bullshit with him. I just also saw this quote that he said, and I don't know why, but it actually makes me laugh, because he's like, I've got to do a good job and stay on in Formula One for as long as I can.
He's really just gonna hold on to any seat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. That's what I want for him too.
I mean, he's been doing better than Giovinazzi, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, last year he came in 16th, right? So not ideal. But
I mean, it's not his, like, he's doing the best he can, I feel like, with the car, and like, if Alfa Romeo wants to bring a new driver, like, yeah, it makes sense to do Giovinazzi, who's younger, and somebody else, but Kimi has been proving himself. He's still good.
Yeah. And he's a pure legend. And I feel like, you know, for the fans, that's really something that Alfa Romeo has going for them.
We need to see at least one more Monaco GP with him there.
Yeah. Hard agree.
But like with an audience too. So probably at least till 2022.
Yeah. I hope so. Well, I think those were all of our favorite Kimi moments. Man, the myth, the legend, the Iceman.
Father of Ice Cube 1 and Ice Cube 2.
Yeah. His little ice cubes.
What's
Anyway,
his wife called though? Oh.
Ice cream? Ice Anyway, thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this very special episode about Kimi Raikkonen. If you would like to see some of our Formula One memes, especially as the season's coming up now, you can feel free to follow us at BoxBoxBoxPodcast on Instagram and TikTok, or at BoxBoxBoxPod on Twitter. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Ciao.
Bye.
Yeah.